Alrighty, guys, it's 3.4 of Michelle's version of calculus, where we will be differentiating inverse trig functions. And if you really don't like trig functions, I'm so sorry, but they will continue to haunt you till the day you die in calculus. So I recommend you just go ahead and learn and memorize what I'm going to tell you now, and it'll save you a lot of just mental pain and agony. All right, so these are just things you're gonna have to memorize and know. There's no escaping it. So the derivative of the inverse of sine is going to be 1 square root of 1 minus x squared. The derivative of the inverse of secant is going to be 1 over absolute value of x times square root of x squared minus 1. Inverse of tan is going to be 1 over x squared plus 1. And this side's even just great. The inverse of cosine, the derivative of cosine's inverse, I apologize, is going to be negative 1 minus x squared. The derivative of cosecant inverse is going to be negative 1 times the absolute value again of x squared minus 1. And the inverse of cotangent's derivative is going to be negative 1 x squared plus 1. And the best part about this right here, if you haven't already noticed yet, these are all just a negative version of what's right beside it, which is really, really convenient and nice when it comes to memorizing those. Alrighty, so now we're going to move on to our lovely little example. If y equals inverse of cosine x to the 3 over 2, then the first derivative would be, so we were just going to be finding the derivative of this. Alright, so of course, we're going to use this one right here. We're going to use this, and we would use this, and of course, just plug in this value here for our x. So it would be negative 1, or let me just put y prime equals negative 1 over 1 minus x to the 3 over 2 squared. And of course, because we basically have a composite function here, we're going to use our lovely chain rule times d over dx of x to the 3 over 2. And once again, the power rule coming in clutch. This would turn into 3 over 2x. And this is a little bit confusing for a lot of people, but 3 over 2 minus 1, or 2 over 2, is going to just be 1/2. I know a lot of students end up putting the negative 1/2 there. It is just going to end up being 1/2 times 3x squared to the 1/2. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and just rewrite this whole thing to be hopefully a little less confusing. So y prime equals, with this here over here, of course, just basic exponent rules from algebra 1. We know that this will just multiply with each other to be 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. And that would give you 6 over 2, which is basically the same thing as saying 3. So that would be negative 1. Let's go ahead and just move this down, shall we? Over 1. And that would end up going ahead and being y prime equals negative 1 over square root of 1 minus x to the 3rd times, and then of course 3x squared to the 1/2. This can be rewritten as 3 over 2x. That's how that can be written. Oh no, I apologize. there's no negative here. See, I made the exact mistake I said not to talk about. It would be 3 over 2 square root of x. Yeah. And so you would multiply these together. Alright, so once again, you can simplify it down a little bit further. It'd be negative 3 square root x over 2 times 1 minus x to the third. And that would be your final answer. Perf. Alright, and that is all for unit 3.4.